Oh shit. Here we go again.
Hello and welcome out to this episode of Outbreak Gamers. I'm your host, WEBDAVE, and I am very pleased to have with us Hamsolo. What's up, bud? How you
Yo,
doing?
what's cracking, man? Thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to do this. I know you rock with Boom and whatnot. I see on his show, I believe every Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
So fantastic. I'm happy to be here, man. Let's talk games. Let's talk life. Let's talk whatever, man. I'm
Awesome,
down.
awesome, awesome. I'm excited, man. This is gonna be fun. Well, I kind of start these things off with just a little bit of a kind of a get to know you. With something simple. It's kind of like maybe like what was your first job that you ever had, and doesn't have to
Ooh.
be just and it can be anything. I mean, I started off doing bus work, so.
My first job, I think I was like 14 or 15, and I
Mm-hmm.
worked at a consignment shop,
Cool.
and I got fired in a month.
Oh no,
That was my first job.
that happens. It does
I
happen.
hated the job though. I mean,
Yeah.
I was working with clothes. I'm a big dude. I
Ooh.
don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was just saving to get a car and whatnot, and that didn't get it. That didn't cut it. The second job and the third job is what got it. And I was working both of those simultaneously. I had two jobs when I was 16. It was crazy.
Wow. Cool. What were your other jobs in as you progressed out of the?
From that, I went to working at this place called Village Inn, which is like a restaurant.
Nice.
I was bussing there,
Mm-hmm.
and I was also working at this place called Stouffer's Cafe. I was a dishwasher there, and I did that while I was playing football.
Very cool.
It was
Very
nuts
cool.
in
Was
high
that
school.
in high school? Very cool.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's awesome. I was a band guy, so I was one
yeah.
of the band geeks. But yeah, but we went to all the games because we had to do the pep thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You guys have to keep the crowd moving while we're getting screamed at.
Exactly. Oh goodness, goodness, goodness. So let's I guess let's kind of turn this to gaming. And maybe what was your first experience with gaming? Was it console, PC, arcade? How did it start off for you?
Oh man. Oh Lord. So
Take
it
me back.
started off in house, more or less. Like, I mean, sure, when I was a kid, Chuck E. Cheese, some arcades, stuff like
Hmm.
that, sure. But I mean, those were always looked upon to me. I mean, like, I wasn't old enough to be driving to the arcade and stuff
Right.
like that. Um, so like that stuff was like going to like Six Flags or something to me,
Mm-hmm.
to where it was like, this is an occasion and I don't expect to do this very often, so I didn't look
Right.
that much into arcade and stuff like that. My gaming was in the household because my family was into it already. My dad was into it. Then him and my mom got separated, but my stepdad was into it too as well.
Nice.
I had a Sega Genesis when I was like 5, and I played the crap out of that. Road Rash, NBA playoffs, Lakers
Nice.
versus the Bulls, and all this, like a ton of sports games for sure. John Madden football,
Mm-hmm.
with the EA little tag on the side, the little yellow thing on the
Yep.
side of the cartridge. Um, yeah, I played a ton. I mean, even even games that get completely forgot about now, like Justice League, that
Oh,
game that had the long haired Superman that nobody ever talks about or brings up anymore.
yeah. That's awesome.
Yes, yeah, those were definitely some good times for me. Toe Jam and Earl, yeah. But yeah, that, and then along came the PlayStation eventually.
Mm,
I was an 80s baby, but a 90s kid.
gotcha. So, so your PlayStation days, did you? I mean, what was it that grabbed you about that?
Ridge Racer is the first thing I remember
Love Ridge
about
Racer.
the PlayStation. That was the first game that we got when we got the console. We actually had like the early edition of the PlayStation where you had the RCA cables on the back of the
Oh yeah, I
console.
remember that.
Yeah, so like the same plugs that go into the TV were on the back of the PlayStation, and then eventually they got the other plug
Mm-hmm.
that went to it and whatnot that still had the RCAs, and then you could also get ones for uh what's it, coax and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yep.
Um but yeah, I mean those were the days, man. I mean, by the time I got my PlayStation, which wasn't too much crazy longer, like, I remember being so proud to have a VCR because people don't understand these days how hard it was to game. Like, people turn on their TV and they can game from their Samsung TV, or you can
Mm-hmm.
turn on your phone and you can game from that. You can turn on your tablet, PC, and I mean, PC's been around and been able to, game on forever. And sure, you can hook up many consoles to TVs, but people don't remember how it wasn't like an HDMI cord where it was like, oh, this is compatible with everything. It
Right.
wasn't that. It was like, shoot, I buy my PlayStation and then it comes with the composite cables or
Yep.
whatever, and then you're like, and then I look behind my Symphonic TV, my old ass Symphonic, or or the knob TV that had the RF cables or whatever that you had
Yep.
to screw in the back and whatnot.
Yep.
Um, People forget that, those TVs didn't come with compositor components. Like
Mm-mm.
a lot of TVs, I mean, those were the top of the line TVs that had those type of
Yeah.
things, not the garage sale TVs. Those didn't have those at all. Um, so you'd have to take that coax, plug it into the TV, and then route it to the VCR, and then hopefully the VCR has 3 composite cables because some of
Yeah.
them only had the yellow and the white.
Yep.
So you could only get half the sound, but I mean, it didn't really matter anyways because it was like pretty much going to mono, pretty
Right.
much.
But still.
But still, it was just a little extra little taste, of quality that you just wanted to add to it. But yeah, I was one of those kids, and yeah, my first VCR was a 2. What was the yellow and just the yellow and white. But yeah, man, I mean, people used to make jokes about, man, putting the clock on the VCRs and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. Man, I knew the inside out of my VCR, bro. I knew how to do everything on that.
Nice.
L1, L2,
Yeah.
channel 3, like
Yep.
all that stuff, man. I remember it, man. And I mean, I still deal with it with this CRT right here that I got
That's
next
cool.
to me, and I got a VCR in the other room. I actually have that plugged into my daughter's TV because she likes watching VHSs and stuff like that. Just
Mhm.
because I see, I don't like giving her discs. I mean, she's 5 years old. She's gonna
Right.
scratch some things up.
Mhm.
VHS, I mean, you can throw it off the balcony and pick it up, and it might still work.
It might. You're right.
As long as it didn't explode, it's probably gonna work.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. That's so funny. That's so funny. So, that's awesome. So it's kind of cool too when you got like we were talking beforehand, and your wife was playing games, and then your daughter plays games, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a family that plays games. That's pretty cool. I like it.
That's his household. It's fantastic, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's nice. That is nice. So
Yeah,
I
just
guess
last night, the wife and the daughter were playing Mario Party for like 2 hours, and
very cool.
that's right after my wife was playing Tears of the Kingdom. She just beat Breath of the Wild on Saturday, and
Mhm.
she had no idea why I was like pushing her to beat it. I was like, I was like, you got to beat it, you got to beat it. I turned on her Switch, and then I was like, where are you? Like I was just wondering where she's at,
Mhm.
because I was like, it's Mother's Day. I was thinking I'm gonna buy her Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to know, but I like to be like, yo, you gotta you gotta beat this game before I buy it, right? I was gonna buy it for her anyways.
Right.
But then I turned on her game and seen that she was at the last boss. And she's been sitting on this boss, I'm not kidding, for like 9 to 10 months.
Wow.
And not
Yeah.
like avidly playing it, but just like she put it down and just kind of forgot about it, moved on with life.
Right. Yeah.
So I turned it on and I seen that. I was like, hell no. So I gave her a Switch. I was like, you got to beat this today. You got to quit messing around. And she beat it. She cracked some jokes at me, which I put on Twitter about what she said to me. And yeah, and then she beat it, and I surprised her later that evening when we were eating dinner. That here is Tears of the Kingdom, and she was just super excited. She plays Halo all the time though. That's her Xbox game is Halo. Horizon is her PlayStation game, and Zelda is her Nintendo game.
Nice. Good choices, all of them.
Right? Those are top tier choices right there.
Yeah. That's cool though. That's cool, man. So I'm sure that was a nice surprise from you. So that's awesome, man.
Oh yeah,
that is awesome. Very cool. So from there, I guess other game systems. I guess as the newer consoles and stuff. Do you have all of them, or do you prefer like the Xbox, PlayStation, Switch? What's more your jam right now?
Well, my jam is Xbox, but I do have all of them. Like I said, I have the Switch. Me and my wife were playing Zelda. She was playing Tears of the Kingdom. I was playing Breath of the Wild. So I have 2 Switches.
Nice.
A PS5 and a Series S and a Series X and a One X. And a VCRX. I mean, I have like, not even kidding, like 25 consoles, maybe more, around here, of just variety. I even have a 3DO right here from Gold Star. So, so yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I probably don't need, but I enjoy it all in moderation. Not so much my Xbox. I enjoy that probably way more than I should. That's where my laurels kind of land, and it's always been like that since like 2001, 2002. I've always been more Xbox than anything else.
Yeah. Same here, man. I prefer the ecosystem. I just I like it, but I do have PlayStation 5, Switch, Steam Deck, pretty much you name it. It's kind of thing. My son for Christmas this past year, he surprised me with an original Xbox that he had upgraded the hard drive and filled it full of games for me.
Oh, modded, nice.
I know.
Man, I really want a modded original Xbox. I have an original Xbox, it's just not a modded one.
Yeah. Well, he took the time and did all that, and then he's like, because I had no idea, and I was like, what the crap is this? And he's like, yeah, I've been working on this for a while. And I was like, oh my god. So yeah, he's a good kid.
I mean, that's a heaven sent right there.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm same with you. Like my whole family's into gaming. My wife, not as much as she used to be. She 2D like Donkey Kong games like that. Oh my gosh, loves those. But when we got the 64 and had the 3D Donkey Kong 64, not even 5 minutes of playing, and she's like, I can't do it because it's just the turning and stuff just absolutely made her nauseous. Just made her sick. She just couldn't do it. So, but she's playing on her phones. I love how she says, she goes, yeah, I'm playing this free game. I'm like, really? I get the bill on iTunes for the $40 just spent yesterday. And she's like, oh, was it that much? I'm like, yeah, it was that much.
You know, Dave, I think that's funny because my wife used to do that same stuff, and then I was like, babe, Game Pass, just play these games, like any game you want. I mean, you can even cloud, just do whatever, just stop getting these games and spending $1.29 or whatever 7 times a month. I mean, I mean, she could easily turn around and say, "What's up with your super chat?" So I mean,
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't have a lot of ground to stand on, but I'm just saying, like if we can eliminate one thing, I'd rather eliminate that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you, man. That's so awesome. Well, hopefully we hear about the family plan soon, and then I'll
Nice.
be in set because take care of everybody in the family plus one more. So that'll be cool. Well, gosh, from there, I guess obviously you have your own channel and well respected industry, and you've been on a lot of podcasts that I've seen, and I think you do great work, and I love your viewpoint. So let's. How did you get in? I guess what got you from watching YouTube or that kind of thing to being on it? How did that go? How'd you get from one to the other?
It's weird. So I more or less kind of got into it from just being bored. And not having anybody to talk to because I've moved a ton of times. I'm not in my home state. Um, and I just don't have a whole lot of like real life friends. Um, in just because I've moved so much. If I go back home, which is only 3 hours away, which I do every once in a while, I kick it with a ton of different people I know. But I'm at the age where I'm like raising a daughter and stuff. Like I'm not going to the bars. I'm not going to go just meet and talk to random people. I got a wife,
Yeah,
like I I don't really care for it that much, but I still need human interaction. I still
of
need to
course.
talk to people. I still go out, but I don't go out with the intent to meet somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? I go
Hmm.
out to hang out with my family or to hang out with the people that I already know. Or just to go out and kick it by myself. Like sometimes that's fun to even do. Like I go
Yeah.
to random game stores around town and I'll stay there for like an hour and a half or go to a park or and walk around and see something because like I said, I'm new to a lot of these cities. So whenever I go out and around, it's usually a new for me, new
Hmm.
experience. I'm going to a place somewhere for the first time other than Best Buy or something like that.
Yeah.
Those are the same everywhere. Um but yeah, when I moved to Kansas City from Denver,
Hmm.
I was an indoor skydiving instructor when I lived
Very
in Denver.
cool.
I used to fly in what's called a wind tunnel.
Hmm.
This place is pretty much like one of the only companies in the United States that does it. It's called iFly Indoor Skydiving.
Heard of them.
I
That's
was an
nice.
instructor and I worked there for about 6 years, a little over
Wow, that's
6 years.
awesome.
I can do all kinds of crazy things in the wind tunnel. If you ever check out like the intro to some of my shows, sometimes I'll be showing a clip of me flying around in the tube and whatnot, upside down,
Hmm.
front flips, back flips, whatever. Um, but when I moved to Kansas City, I was still instructing. I was moving from one wind tunnel to another. And I continued to work there, but then we went into COVID and whatnot. So
Mm,
I didn't get laid off. I got laid off, but I didn't like get fired or anything. I ended up
right.
coming back eventually, like a month and a half later. Um, but I ended up getting hurt while I was working, and I had already
Mm,
wanted to kind of get into podcasting because I was kind of bored during COVID, and
hmm.
I got the PS5, I got the Series X, and I eventually bought a 3080. And I was like, I want to build my own PC just so I can always kind of stay ahead in
Hmm.
case games don't come out the way I want to. It's kind of weird thinking about that now because it's like the other way around where PCs having a lot of the game issues and the consoles are pretty fine, which is kind of weird. Like playing Redfall on PC was atrocious, but at least
Wow.
getting a stable 30 FPS on a Series S is fine.
Yeah.
Which is wild. But anyways, so yeah, I got all that stuff together. I ended up meeting my buddy that helps me run the channel, Loke, which he lives in Mozambique, Africa. So yeah, our time of coordination is nuts. When we're starting our podcast, it's like 10 at night, or like 8 or 10 at night for him, and it's like 2 o'clock for me, or 3.
Right.
So it's a weird balance that we have, but we make it work. But I just reached out to him on Twitter, just saying, "Yo, you seem like a pretty cool dude." Like literally, we're interacting on a post. I don't remember what post it was, and then I just reached out to him and said, "Yo, you seem like a pretty cool dude. Here's my gamer tag." He hit me up, and we ended up playing Hive Busters and beating that together.
That's cool.
And then we ended up playing A Way Out and beating that together. And from there, we're just like, man, that experience was fun. The way that we talked about a lot of that stuff felt like a podcast. And I was like, well, I was actually thinking about getting into that because I bought all this stuff, but I don't really have a lot of people to talk to about it. And he's like, yeah, I'm down to do it. So yeah, we got into that. I ended up later meeting a buddy named Matt Likes Games during the Halo like test for Halo Infinite. And yeah, I ended up playing like the whole time with him, and it was fantastic. And I didn't realize he was a pretty chill, pretty cool dude, and we ended up beating multiple games together. And then I hit him up with an idea. Yo, I kind of want to do this show where I interview people, and I just talk about gaming and specifically how they got into it and whatever. Kind of very similar to what we're doing here, what you're doing. And this is way before I even knew who you were.
Right.
I didn't know who anybody. I didn't know Boom. The only person I like knew that I didn't like talk to, that I could, like, they didn't know me. I just knew them. Was like Colt Eastwood.
Cool.
Dealer, Zalker, this other dude named Jay something. I don't remember. No, it's not Fonzarelli. It's not Jay Fonzarelli. But anyways, those are the only people that I kind of knew because like I said, I've always been the Xbox. Although I had a PlayStation, I bought a PS5 because it was like, dude, I skipped the PS4 generation.
Right.
That generation was fantastic towards the end. I wish I would have had one, but don't want to buy one now. I'm gonna wait until the next one comes out, and then I
absolutely
got a PS5 on launch day.
Nice.
Got both consoles on launch day through the stress of tapping. you know that stress of getting new console during that period of time was just insane, and to get them both on launch day, man, I thought I was gonna get robbed when I went into Target to get it, dude. It was a stressful time period for electronics. Well, people were literally getting shot and stuff like that.
It's crazy. Like, you're right.
Yeah, so I was like literally nervous about it. But yeah, I had all the stuff together. I only knew of those people, and I was like, man, I know a lot about these different games that they're talking about, and I don't talk to a whole lot of people, but I want to meet a ton of different people, and I want to see why they are who they are and why we're not that different.
Right. Let's go.
And so I went on ahead and hit up a ton of different people. But Matt Likes Games was the first person I hit up. And the reason I went on ahead through with the idea was because I was watching the Iron Lords podcast. Right. And this is before I didn't really know any of them that much. I only knew, like, I'm going to keep it real. I only knew Lord Cog and King David, just because Cog is the guy that's always talking at the beginnings and everything like that. And he always has some really interesting introductions to his show.
Yeah.
And I knew King David because he was always wild and crazy. And I specifically remembered him for this Jim Ryan, Jamaica Jim that he used to do.
Yeah.
He used to do Jamaica Jim, and I used to be crying whenever he did that. So I hit up him because King David's one of those guys that will flat out say, like on a show, and he'll say it on Twitter and whatever, hit me up if you guys have any questions or anything like that. My DMs are open. You know, he's a very, you know, honest individual.
Yes.
Whether you like the honesty or not, like he's honest, and he's easy to get along with if you're not insane. So like I just reached out to him like, yo, I'm thinking about getting into streaming. I've done a couple shows with Loke at that time, and my wife, actually, she was on the show. If you watch
Very
my
cool.
first few episodes, you'll see my wife was on the show, actually, because we
Nice.
needed a third panel member and we didn't have one
Mm-hmm.
for what we wanted to do. We wanted to do, the idea was Undisputed from Fox Sports,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Woman in the middle asking the questions. Me and Loke was more like Skip, and I was more like Shannon, because
Cool.
I'm more loud and I get frustrated, and it's easy to say something and have me just like, don't you dare. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so that was the style that we're going off of. And I was telling King David and whatnot, and he was like, you need a new mic, but really you just need to do something. And then he's like, if you're really wondering about the technical stuff, holler at Lord Attic. And he's like, as a matter of fact, don't holler at him. I'll holler at Lord Attic for you and have him reach out. And I was just like, oh my goodness. So that's how this community can be.
Yeah.
It can be nice. So
Mhm.
like, so that really kind of put, like, I don't know, it felt like I drove over a mushroom and I got the boost. You know what I
Nice.
mean?
Yeah.
Hey,
I like
so
that.
yeah, so I took off from there, and I obviously had him on. I had Addict on, Fonz, Boom, was it Randolph Thor, Tim Dog. Those were my early episodes.
Wow. That's
And people
nice.
were just like popping in like, who the hell is this guy interviewing all of these guys? And then like it continued to go, and I ended up having even, you know, wilder guests like Seamus Blackley pulled up on there, which
That's
was
awesome.
incredible. Jerry Hook, which he used to be the like head of design for Halo
Yeah.
at 343. I had him on, and like I'm having more and more people just agree, and I'm figuring out like the recipe of how I want to do it, and like it's pretty incredible. But every time it bothers me a little bit that people always come in during my show or during another podcast and will say, I don't understand how you have all these people on here, but you haven't hit 1K. That doesn't make any sense. And I don't like hearing that, because that kind of gets me down a little bit.
Right.
Just a little bit, because it's just like, if they're seeing it and I'm seeing it, I'm even more confused now. And I don't know where to go with that with that answer or thought or anything like that. So I try to ignore it.
Yeah.
I try to just ignore it, but I hear it like once a week. And I'm just like, I'm just doing what I can, and it'll happen when it happens, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, you're doing good work, and you got some amazing guests, you know, and obviously you have a good flow. So to me, it'll just happen. Things will come natural. You know, you just gotta keep on keeping on, because for whatever reason hasn't clicked yet, but eventually it will click, and when it does, you know, you'll be where you want to be. And that, you know, like I said, I have no doubt. Yeah, someday you'll be looking back, you know, with that 100,000 plaque behind you, going, "Yeah, I remember when I started." So you know,
Well, I tell you what, man, I mean, whatever the future holds is whatever. But I could stop right now
yeah,
and just look at my resume and be like, yeah, that's nice.
yeah, something to be
That's
proud of.
not too dang bad. I could talk about just what I've done already for the rest of my life and be satisfied.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I mean, gaming's a passion for me. So like I mean, you know, it's just like being a fish. Like you see one thing, or like or like James Cameron, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. Like
Yeah,
so I mean, that's what gaming is for me, where it's like I think back like, man, I've done enough. And then I see a piece of candy and I'm like, I'm gonna keep going.
Yep.
That's how it
Yep.
is.
Yeah. Well, and it's, as long as you're having fun and you're enjoying it, you know, keep at it, man. That's the way I look at it. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a fun time. I mean, is there big money to be made at it? No, it's a hobby for me, but it's fun, And plus, the best thing about it to me is that I get to meet cool people like yourself and to get to know, more people in the community, which is an amazing community of gamers. It's so many great people out there and, just interesting people from all over the world, not just, but all, like you said, Zimbabwe, right? All over the world, man. From Australia to just everywhere you could think of, including Canada, Mexico. It's just, it's nice, man. The community is what, to me, is what drives it. And, you interact well with the people you've interviewed. Watched about half of the Seamus Blackley. I haven't finished yet. Still got to. I will finish that though. But yeah, he was. I mean, he right there just cutting it up like you guys were buddies. That was great. That was good flow, good feel to it. You know, you got this, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. So,
Yeah, man. I enjoy it. But continue. I'm sorry.
no. You're fine. So with that, I guess, and then you've also been on other shows. So how does that feel being and not just interviewing people, but like now you've been asked to come on and give your opinions and stuff. So that's got to feel pretty good too. I've seen you on
Oh,
several shows.
absolutely. And you know, it just feels like I take it like I'm doing my part. Like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right
Mm-hmm.
now. I'm enjoying my passion. I want them to enjoy it with me, so I'm most definitely going to enjoy it with them. And sometimes the shows I go on are spicy. They're a little weird sometimes. Sometimes I'm fighting for my life. I don't go in I don't go into shows where I'm getting belittled though.
Right.
I'm just talking about like I like when people come off disingenuous about Xbox, I have to, you know, do a little course correcting. But
I love it.
but no, there has never been a podcast that I've got on where, you know, we're talking about each other's mamas or anything. I'll flat out leave a podcast, or if it
Sure.
happens on my podcast, I'll shut it down. Like
Yeah.
we're not doing that. We don't do that, or I don't do that. I got a 5-year-old daughter. I am not trying to have her turn on YouTube when she gets to be, you know, 15 in school and have somebody showing up, showing a video of me acting like a 2-year-old and cussing out another grown man. Like,
Yeah.
no, like we'll get passionate about gaming, and I mean, she might, you know, hey dad, you was acting crazy right here. I was doing it for gaming. I wasn't doing it to disrespect nobody else.
Right. And it makes a difference.
So I mean, to me, it's special because they asked me to come on not only to fill a slot, but also because they, for whatever reason, respect the way that I conduct myself. Where I'm not there to do, as I just got done talking about, antagonize and belittle.
Right.
I'm just there to say the facts as how I see them, and or my opinions, or however you want to put them out there, and then keep it moving. Maybe be a little spicy, but never anything derogatory or in the in the direction to try to ruin somebody else's character.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's honorable. I like it. Very cool.
It's simple, man. I mean, people act like it's hard to act like this or be like this, and it's just like it's as normal as it can get.
Yeah.
Really is what it is. And when people say, "Oh, I like you for this, this, and this," I'm just like, you like me for just being a person. like, like what you're used to or whatever you're talking about or seeing,
Yeah.
that's not normal.
Right.
This is just normal.
Yeah. Genuine. I like.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's cool. So let's turn the conversation a little bit into, I guess, because this will drop in about 2 weeks. So I guess what are your feelings on the way gaming is going right now? I mean, we're through the pandemic. We're there's a big merger on the table. Big showcase coming up soon. What are your thoughts about how gaming is going, and where do you see it going here in the next few years?
It's exciting and nerve-wracking at the exact same time.
Agreed.
I say that because it's obviously exciting to see technology technology evolve and go from where I thought I was playing 3D Sonic when I was playing Sonic 3D Blast on my Sega Genesis. I was like, this is 3D, lying to myself.
Yeah.
And then you go to now where we're playing, maybe it's not the greatest game, but neither was Sonic 3D Blast. But playing Sonic Frontiers where it's like truly open. Whether it's the same feel as you'd like from Sonic is not what I'm talking about right now. What I'm saying is, wow. Like I can go left, right, up, down, jump up, climb up things, go crazy fast all over the map without anywhere to really go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing a game that's considered old right now, that is Grand Theft Auto 5, and it's doing all that it's doing, and then I go to look to see what's going on in the near future for Grand Theft Auto, and they're talking about surfing in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking in my head, like, I remember my boy in Vice City couldn't swim.
Yeah. Yeah.
like we in Miami and you can't swim.
Exactly. That's so funny.
So like I'm just thinking about the evolution, how exciting that is. But the part that makes me that's like nerve-wracking is that now more eyes are on it now than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And the expectations are so high that it's exhausting for fans, not just for developers or platform holders, but for fans. Fans are like sweating over things. And like, I understand that gaming's been big for a long time. I remember back in the days with the Halo 2 and the Halo 3 outside of GameStop, software, etc., EB Games, whatever you want to call it. Yep. I remember hanging out at Blockbuster waiting for them to open so I can get GTA 3 before anybody else grabbed it, because I knew once anybody else grabbed it, it ain't coming back for a couple weeks and people will take that late fee. Mm-hmm. They don't care. so I was there for it, and now that I see it evolving, the reason I kind of cause for pause a little is just like we got world news out of this now. Mm-hmm. With stuff like the Activision Blizzard thing, $70 billion going towards something. Sony is doing incredible work with the, with some of the equipment that they got. Nintendo is on the cusp of something new, but nobody really knows exactly what it's going to be yet. And they just dropped a game that had the classicness of like early Halo launch or something like that, where you see people lined up at GameStops around the block.
Yep.
Like gaming is alive and kicking. I mean, shoot, it ain't alive and kicking. It's running laps right now.
Yeah.
And like, if you have a favorite publisher or favorite developer, it's weird because back in the days when it was like not a whole lot of us talking about these publishers and developers and stuff, we weren't really worried too much about what they did, what was implemented in the game. You know, we just read the back of the game case or hoped for, Game Informer to have some sort of drop on the game that I'm interested in, and maybe it'll take up a third of the page of the magazine and I can get as much information out of it as I can, to now where I'm looking at a game like Immortals of Avium,
Yes,
seeing that their channel at the time had less subscribers than me. I put a post on Twitter and the CEO likes it.
that's cool.
And I'm just like, well, it's just becoming a fan is different now.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It can be the same as it was for those that are outside of the realm of giving a damn for it very much. Like, if you're just kind of, your basic casual, I mean, you don't care about any of this stuff. I mean, back when I was back when I was not into like YouTube and stuff like that, I didn't care about what YouTube had to say. I already had my games that I played. Right. I was all set. I didn't need to hear it from Cold Eastwood. I was set. But like, it's just weird once you engage with it and get that taste, and then you're just like, there's a lot to be had here. And then you look over and you're just like, man, the people that I used to idolize are really no different than me.
Yeah. That's cool.
Like, not just content creator wise, but developer wise, head honcho wise. And it's just weird. And it kind of makes me nervous because there was some sort of allure or magic to not knowing anybody.
Oh, yeah.
To not being able to have contact with developers, to not be able to rely on Twitter for your update. There was just that magic of maybe it might come out into a magazine. Maybe there might be a commercial. Maybe it'll just show up on the shelves. But now the magic is kind of like, I can click on any dev page and meet the creators of it and they'll talk about it for like 2 hours or something like that. And it's just like, it makes me nervous because it's like, is this going to turn into like maybe music or something like that, where it's so diluted that I can't really find exactly what I'm looking for. I just find things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like right now with music, when I look up and I find new music, I don't cherish a new artist like I used to. You know what I mean?
I do.
I like back in the day when I first heard like Tupac or AZ or just some Twista or something like that. Tech Nine. When I heard Tech Nine, he was still not that huge and whatnot. But the only way to get their music without going to the store and buying it, which was still very much in its infancy, was like a Napster or something like that. But the kind of joy that you used to get waking up in the morning and seeing that 10 songs downloaded and you got a new CD.
Yep.
And you would just wear that out and you'd go to the concerts and everything, and you'd be following that one person or them 5 people or these couple of groups.
Yeah.
And now there's so much music that it's just like, this song's dope, this song's dope, this song's dope. And they're all great music. It's just like, I don't really care to follow because A, it's so easy to access,
Yeah.
and B, there's like a million of you. You know what I mean? There's like I heard this voice and beat before. You did a great job at it, but I can forget you and be fine.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm scared that gaming may become that a little bit. But at the same time, if it becomes that, that means it's working.
Oh yeah.
Because Spotify works,
Mm-hmm.
Netflix works, Game Pass is seemingly working.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Sony jumped on the bandwagon with their own PlayStation Plus.
Yep.
Nintendo probably coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's just wild. But I guess I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's gonna feel like that there is no platform ever anymore.
Right.
With anything, and that and I kind of get sad a little bit with that. Because my favorite brand is the one ushering that in the hardest.
Yeah. Yeah. Play anywhere. Mm-hmm.
Which is great. But at the same time, it's like, man, I do like going to the store and grabbing that console and grabbing a couple games. And then I'm like, do I really? Because I just ordered my groceries.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just me complaining.
No. But yeah, I know what you mean though. I do. And you know, the mentality, you know, I think there's always gonna be hardcore enough gamers like you, like me, that you know, want to have the console, like the physical, you know, games, those kind of things. And you know, there's still a need for it. It's not. I don't think maybe someday it'll go away, but it's still not going away. At least not this gen, for sure.
Oh, it probably won't go away in my lifetime.
Yeah.
To be real, I mean, there'll be like physical games might go away in my lifetime, but hardware for a console, isn't going anywhere, because there's gonna be people for the longest of times that want to just buy this because it does that.
Yes. Yep.
No tinkering.
Yeah. Nothing. Just play and go. Yep. I'm with you. Gosh, dude, it's been awesome talking to you. I really appreciate you being on today. And as we get kind of close to wrapping things up, I always like to ask, what, and again, you can give me more than one because everybody does. So, what are the games or game that you're looking most forward to that hasn't been released yet? And it's something that's known, pretty much. So,
Yeah. So do you want me to do the most first or last?
however you want to do it.
All right, I'll do the most last.
Okay.
So and this goes in no particular order other than that. The most is just last.
Yeah.
Everything else is just like in whatever order. So Spider-Man 2, Starfield, Forza, Fable, Stalker 2, and I don't want to say Avowed yet because I just need to see more from it.
Hopefully soon.
So those are that. But my most anticipated game is Ark Survival Evolved 2.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you think
different answer from a lot of people?
Yeah, haven't got that one before. There you go. The Vin Diesel, right?
Yeah, Vin Diesel is supposed to be in that one. In the current Ark Survival, I have somewhere between 150 to 200 days played in that game. And my wife has like near 100 days in that game, and her dad has about 100, somewhere close to me. Like we played it as we we played it as a family for a couple of years, and like I have some friends from back home that used to hop in and play it as well. I'm all about. I'm a guy that's all about like together and playing and meeting new people and doing that type of stuff. So that game was right up my alley.
Yeah. You're gonna make me say it, aren't you? It's all about family.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. It's all about
Sorry,
family.
man.
Absolutely.
I
Vinny
love
D for the win.
Exactly. Well, there's new movies coming out this weekend. Should be big. Should be big.
Another Fast and the Furious. I'm over that though. I'm over
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious. I'm over it. But hopefully it's good because I know there'll be a point that I sit and watch all of them.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for them to just stop before I do that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Hamsolo, dude, Ham, thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. And if you don't mind, it's going to be in the description below, but if you don't mind, tell everybody where they can find you and how they can reach out to you.
So you can find me at Hamsolo05 Gaming on Twitter. But if you want to check out my YouTube channel, it is TSWS Gaming. You can see it in the purple letters right next to my name there on the screen. TSWS Gaming. I do shows Tuesday through Friday. That includes Behind Them Sticks on Thursday when I talk to different people all over the world. No matter what console or whatever they're playing on, I talk to them. Even some of the spicy cats, I talk to them too. But yeah, check me out there if you want to see some of my content. Working on getting to 1,000 subscribers right now, about at 600 currently.
That's great.
But brother Dave, it has been a pleasure being here with you. And you know what, man, I tell you what, I can't wait to get you Behind Them Sticks. And you know what, I'm gonna wait until after the showcase and stuff like that. Actually, you know what? Are you looking forward to Starfield?
I am.
I got it. The Thursday after Starfield launches, I'm putting you down.
I'm in. You got me. Because
I want to get your take and all of that for a big game. And I think that would be a big moment to have you on because I'm going to be hyped. So let's do that.
That sounds great.
I'm going to mark you down right now, brother.
Do it. And I want to make sure everybody knows that everybody that's watching this, you want good content, good creator, good interactions. You definitely want to go to Ham's channel, and the link's going to be in the description below. So don't fear if you didn't catch it. It's going to be just click through and make sure you subscribe to this man. And not only that, but hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of his great content that he puts out. He works hard for it, and he will earn your trust. Let me tell you, he will earn it. So guys, thank you all so much. Ham, thanks again for being here. Really appreciate it. And thanks for everybody for joining us here at Outbreak Gamers.
Game over.